Hi, hello students. I hope you are all in home, staying at home, healthy, fit, and fine, and continue the same. I welcome you all today for the first chapter of class 8th, that is how, when, and where. This is the first chapter of 8th class in history. Today we are going to study about how, when, and where. First, we shall see how when, and where about the introduction of history. History is all about the changes that have taken place over a time. What we can say? History is nothing but what changes have taken place over a time. We can tell it as a history. And we can even add history aims to find out about various events that have occurred in the past and how they have affected people, their practices, institutions, and the society they exist today. I repeat once again. History aims to find out about various events that have occurred in the past. Whatever events which have occurred in the past, that all comes under the history, and it also finds how they have affected the people, how history has affected the people's life, their practice, institutions, and the society that they exist today. This is about history, and history is nothing but the study of the past events, past and the present events. Here, history is the collection of data. History is what? It is a collection of data, how it happened, when it happened, and where it happened. In history, how, when, and where plays a very vital role. And along with that, collection of data at the same time, when the events have occurred, at what time, when, and where, also plays a very important role in the history. Historians are more fascinated with the dates. If we see in the history, historians are most fascinated with the dates. They say that the incidents which are recorded in the history is quoted with dates. The incidents which are recorded in history, they are all quoted with dates in a chronological manner. The dates or the events which have occurred in the past, they have been quoted with what? With the dates in a chronological order, so that we can read it very systematically and try to understand the what happened and during whose period it has happened. In history, we should keep in the mind what events or which events have taken place at what time and during whose period. It is very important. Now, to add further, we shall see some examples from the textbook. First example. We shall see the first example of train. Whenever we travel by a train, we never think or we never think about who invented train or when did the train first start. We never think. What is our motto? We have to climb the train, we have to reach our destination and get out. Now, no one thinks when train started, where it was first started, and who was the founder of train engine. Nobody thinks. Nobody thinks that. And at the same time, we will take one more example about drinking tea. When we drink tea also at the same time, we never think who first found out tea or where tree is grown, tea plantation is grown more, or how the tea powder is made. Nobody thinks about that. Nobody thinks about the history of the tea. What do they do at present? They drink the tea, they satisfy their wants and they forget. This is one more example of drinking a tea. Then next we will take one more example of paper. Reading newspaper. Reading newspaper is also one more example which they have given in the textbook here. When we read newspapers, we read the current events, what has happened yesterday or what has happened day before yesterday. Only we take the knowledge of the current events. Nobody thinks when newspaper was started, how the newspaper is prepared, where is the machinery of preparing the newspaper is set up. Nobody thinks about the history of newspaper, neither the history of drinking tea, nor about the train or bus. Nobody thinks who made it, how they made, how much they struggled, how much efforts they have put to make this. Nobody thinks. They only thinks about the present. If the present the work is being done, their motto is or the purpose is served. That's all. Therefore, from history we come to know that how history have been present, have been formed from the past. By giving one more example, I will wind up how about the history. We will take one example about a cricket player who used to play in the 19th century and the present day cricket players. There is a lot of difference between both the players. There are a lot of changes that have happened in the past and lot of changes which have happened at present also. Before the arrival of the what digital screen or the umpire today, whatever umpires give you the third view, that this type of system was not there in the past. There is a lot of changes between even in the sports also. These all accounts to what? History. Students, now we shall discuss about industrial revolution and its effects of industrial revolution. First we shall try to know what is industrial revolution about. The term industrial revolution is used for important changes and progresses in the field of agriculture, manufacturing, mining, transport and technology that occurred in Europe. I repeat once again, industrial revolution means it is the term used in industrial revolution for the important changes which have taken place. And in what the changes have taken place? The changes have taken place and the progress have been shown in the field of agriculture, manufacturing, mining, transport and technology that occurred in Europe between later half of the 18th century and the beginning of 19th century. These all changes and progresses which have been taken place in Europe, that have been taken place in between the later half of the 18th century and the beginning of the 19th century. And these changes have affected the society. These changes have affected the society, the social, economic and cultural lives in different countries of Europe. The industrial revolution started in England. And spread throughout Europe. First industrial revolution, where it has started? This industrial revolution first it has started in England. Industrial revolution first started in England, and then later on slowly it went on spreading throughout Europe, North America and rest of the world. Like this, slowly industrial revolution went on spreading. As a result, what happened when the industrial revolution went on spreading? The result of industrial revolution in England's industrial production increased much more than before. As industrial revolution took place, whatever the production was there in England, what happened? It increased much more than before in the past. So England, what it did, it stopped importing goods and products from outside. As the production itself increased in England, what it did, it stopped importing some of the products from outside. It stopped the import of products from outside. Instead, now it thought that it was now need for us to expand our to expand the market and sell the industrial goods beyond the boundaries. It stopped importing all the goods and products from outside, and instead it thought that now it is a time for us to expand our market and sell our own produced goods in the market and all the boundaries. As goods were produced in large number, or we can say as the goods were produced in bulk, they were cheaper than the handmade goods. I repeat once again, as the goods were produced in bulk and in large number, they were cheaper than the handmade goods. With the aim to search for more markets, what happened in India? East India Company was set up in the year 1600. What was set up? In the year 1600, East India Company was set up. Okay, we shall discuss the same in the next class.